Was good, y'all. Rich Sosa back in the building with another banger. And as y'all can see by the looks of the title and the screen, today I am bringing y'all the first ever Paint Beast with over 100 badges, y'all. Now I'm telling you, when it comes down to this build, definitely going to be worth making because you're going to be able to dribble on this build, shoot. Y'all already know about the defense on this build. Definitely going to be worth it, especially when you consider it's a paint beast. And on top of all that, you're going to be able to unlock all of the contact dunks. And look, we also got sharp shooting takeover on this build. I also have this build on current gen, so if y'all want it, go ahead and let me know in the comment section and drop a like. But before we get into the making, man, I just got to say thank God for giving me this opportunity to be able to share this with y'all. All glory goes to him. Thank y'all again for coming through as well. And man, y'all already know what y'all need to do. Be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. Anybody looking to join RGF, the Rich Gang family, go ahead and turn on post notifications. Let's go ahead and get 50 big likes on this video. Share it with your family and friends. And now let's go ahead and get into the making of the build. So if you want to make the best version out of the Playmaking Paint Beast, go ahead and put it under the power forward position. When it comes to past years, the Paint Beast has always been primarily and best made out of the power forward position, the forward. Now, when it comes down to the height on this build, we are actually going to go ahead and put this to 6'8". Now, when it comes to the weight, I'm sure some of these are going to be optional, but just to be safe, go ahead and put it at 280. And of course, when it comes down to this wingspan, go ahead and max it out in order to maintain the best possible defensive stats on this build. Now again, if you want to change anything about this right here, go ahead and do it now, but I highly recommend making it how I'm showing y'all first. Then you could go ahead and make your own adjustments, because if you change anything up, you will not be guaranteed the plus 100 badges on this build. So when it comes down to the finishing, here is actually where we're going to go ahead and start it at. So when it comes down to the close shot, driving layup, and driving dunk on this build, these are going to be the only 3 attributes that we upgrade for the finishing. But if you want to change them, putting something into the post control or the standing dunk, go ahead and do so. But again, the build name may change. So for the close shot, I'm going to go with an 86. Driving layup, 82. And just to get all of the contact dunks guaranteed, go ahead and put this to a 92. Already 22 badges right there. And do not worry, the physicals are going to be changed at the end. So do not even think that we won't be getting contacts, because on this build, we're actually going to put the vertical up enough to where we're going to be able to unlock all of them, y'all. Now, when it comes down to the shooting, mid-range shot, go ahead and put this to an 82. Three-pointer, go ahead and put this to a 77. And as for the free throw, you of course want to use this build in any game mode, unless you're just making it for the park or the city. Go ahead and put this to a 64, and that's going to give us 23 badges right there. Now, when it comes down to the playmaking, this is going to be the most important part about this build. You have to go with a pass accuracy of 86, ball handle of 78 or higher, and then the speed with ball, I'm going to put it to a 62 in order to get wealth in some of the other areas on this build. That's going to give us 21 badges right there. So far, looking good. Now let's go ahead and get into the defense, y'all. Here is where things are going to get very special. So when it comes down to the interior, go ahead and put this exactly up to 87. As for the perimeter, we're actually going to go ahead and be able to max it out on this build, which is going to allow us to guard any position 1 through to 5, especially if you have some very high IQ on the defensive end. Now, when it comes down to the steal, I'm going to go with an 84. That's going to be perfect for me. The block, an 89. And now, let's go ahead and get into the offensive as well as the defensive rebound. First, for the offensive, I'm going to go ahead and put this up to exactly 81. Then when it comes down to the defensive, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and put this up to an 83. 32 defensive badges right there, which is going to give us 98 total badges plus the +4 from college. And if you want to, you can even consider the 2 takeover badges, which is going to put this build around 104 badges, y'all. Very solid for this kind of build, very toxic as well. But now let's go ahead and get into the physicals. Max out your speed, acceleration 61, and then the strength, vertical, and stamina are all going to be 80s, y'all. This is super solid, especially when it comes down to considering the fact that you're going to be able to get all of the contacts on this build. You're also going to be able to speed boost as well. And then on top of all that, the contacts, plus the dribbling, plus the shooting, and the defense. This build is going to have everything that you want when it comes to playing big for your team, especially when it comes down to playing 3v3. Now the takeovers, we get sharpshooting on this build, playmaking as expected, but then we get the rim protecting as well as the glass cleaning, y'all. All of these are super solid. If you want to just go overpowered on the defensive end, you can definitely pick one of the lockdown ones as well as the glass cleaning. But just to spread the wealth a little bit more, go ahead and first pick up spot up precision. The sharpshooting takeover going to be a huge help to your teammates once you get that. Then for the last one, you could go with see the future, but let's just go ahead and say you want to double up on the defensive end. First, I would go with see the future, and then from there, I would go with either paint intimidation or stuff blocks. And now, as y'all can see, like I said, the first ever playmaking paint beast with over 100 badges, and I really like the comparison that we get of GIANNIS. Gonna be a really good build to use, especially once you max this build out at 99. So from here, we are actually gonna go ahead and consider what this build is going to be looking like once we get that gym rat badge. So with the speed on this build gonna be in the 70s, acceleration gonna go up to a 65, and as for the strength, vertical, and stamina, all going to be somewhere around an 84. Now let's just say you buy boosts on this build as well as run with a teammate that has defensive leader. That's a +8, y'all. I'm not going to include the takeover boost that we get from this. So the interior defense will be in the 90s. Perimeter will be in the 80s. As for the steal and the block, both of these are going to be able to hit the 90s. Then when it comes down to the defensive rebound, this is going to be in the 90s. And then for the offensive, this is going to go up to an 89. Now let's go ahead and consider the same exact thing for the playmaking, shooting, and finishing. You're buying boost as well as running with a teammate that has floor general. You're going to be able to speed boost with this build. Speed with ball is actually going to go up to a 70. Then when it comes down to the shooting, 90 mid-range, somewhere around an 85 three-pointer. We're going to be able to get a 99 driving dunk, especially with boost. And then the close shot and driving layup are all going to be very solid when this build all comes together. Remember, grinding out this build is definitely, in my opinion, going to be one of the best, if not the best, paint beast and honestly big man in all of 2K on next gen. Let's go ahead and get into the badge count now. I'm going to go with Slithery Finisher and Hall of Fame as well as Limitless Takeoff. From there, I got to go ahead and put on Posterizer on gold. Then I'm going to go with Bronze Fearless Finisher, but if you want to take it off to get another Hall of Fame badge, I would go ahead and do that and then put on Pro Touch. From what I know in the past, Pro Touch is honestly one of the most and honestly overpowered badges when it comes down to this game. But now let's go ahead and get into the shooting. The first badge I'm going to go with is going to be Hot Zone Hunter on silver. Another one that a lot of people like is honestly going to be Sniper, so I'm going to go ahead and put it on Hall of Fame. From here, just to add to our shooting percentages, I'm going to go ahead and put on Bronze Clutch Shooter, Bronze Green Machine, as well as Volume Shooter, and then I'm going to go with Deadeye on silver. 8 more remaining badges, so go ahead and put on Corner Specialist on the highest tier that we get it. Now, we got 5 more to work with, so if you want to change anything about this setup, you definitely can do so, but also if you want to spread the wealth, that's another way to go about it. If you want to, I really feel like Set Shooter on silver is going to be worth it. Then we got 2 remaining badges to work with. So if you want to, go ahead and pick based off of your own preference. You can even upgrade the Green Machine to silver if you want to. That is another solid lineup. But if you want to spread the wealth, like I said, go ahead and put on Catch and Shoot on bronze. And then for the last one, I would really go ahead and put on blinders. Really solid setup when it comes down to the finishing and the shooting. But now, let's go ahead and get into the glitchy part about this build, which is going to be the playmaking side, y'all. First, you definitely want to go ahead and put on Bullet Passer on bronze no matter what. From there, I'm going to go with Quick First Step as well, Hyperdrive on silver, and then Gold Triple Threat Juke. Now, you cannot forget about Handles for Days. Go ahead and put that on as well. Unpluckable can be put on bronze or silver. It really just comes down to how high your IQ is when it comes to dribbling, because you do not want to go ahead and put on a badge that is not going to be useful. From here, I'm going to go with Space Creator on silver, Bronze Bailout, and then just to add more in order to get certain animations, like for example Bailout, you can go ahead and put on Tight Handles. That's really going to be very useful, especially for an oversized dribbler, y'all. But now, let's go ahead and get into the best part about this build, the defense 32 badges to work with. So let's go ahead and start it off. I'm going to go ahead and put on Intimidator on gold. Very solid badge that we're going to be able to work with. 28 more badges that we got to go with. So I'm going to go ahead and put on silver clamps as well as gold rim protector. Now, with these next 20 badges, these are all based on preference. I'm going to go with Hustler and Hall of Fame as well as Chased on Artist. From here, you got to go ahead and put on Rebound Chaser on silver. Definitely going to be a huge help on this build. Then from there, I'm also going to go ahead and put on Bronze Pickpocket as well as ankle braces if you want to go that route. But let's go ahead and say you want to put on more bronze badges that are going to help this build out overall. I would go ahead and put on Bronze Tireless Defender, and you could even go with Worm on silver or bronze. It just really comes down to how you like it. But look, Interceptor going to be very clutch to put on this build. With the last one, you could even go with silver pogo stick, and this is something of the final setup that I would go with. 32 defensive, 21 playmaking, 23 shooting, and then 22 finishing, y'all. Again, thank God for just giving me this opportunity and being able to bring the Rich Gang family together like this. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Another banger is dropping later today, so be sure to stay tuned. And man, with all that being said, y'all already know what y'all need to do. Be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. Anybody looking to join RGF, the Rich Gang family, go ahead and turn on post notifications. But also, let's get 50 likes on this banger. Be sure to share it with your family and friends. And last but not least, thank God and Rich out.